Welcome to Andrew Academy. My name is Andrew Nguyen, and now I'm going to show you about methods and meaning of solving a quadratic equation. Quadratic equations are equations of a second degree, such as ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, are probably the most common equations you see in Algebra 2. In growth, which is graph, rules, words, and context and tables, this phase of a function is in the rules section. There are two methods on how to solve this. One method is by factoring, then using the zero product property. For example, x squared plus 14x plus 49 equals 0 can be factored by finding what value is multiplied in order to get the c value, and to add to get the b value. The c value here is 49 and the b value here is 14. One common factor of 49 is 7, so 7 times 7 equals 49. Works for the c value, so let's add them. 7 plus 7 equals 14. Works well too. So you have to write this as factoring as x plus 7 times x plus 7 equals 0. The zero product property states that if a times b equals 0, then a equals 0 or b equals 0. So if x plus 7 times x plus 7 equals 0, then x plus 7 equals 0 and x plus 7 equals 0. Then you subtract 7 from both of the equations in both sides to get x equals negative 7. Since there are two same answers, you don't have to write both. Another method of solving quadratic equations is by using the quadratic formula. There are some quadratic equations that are impossible to factor, so this method is best for solving them. This method is actually can solve for all quadratic equations. To use the quadratic formula, you must have the quadratic equation in standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus minus square root of b squared subtract 4ac divided by 2a. In this form, a is the coefficient of the x squared term, b is the coefficient of the x term, and c is the constant term. This formula gives two possible values of for x. The two solutions are shown by the plus minus symbol. This means that you have to evaluate the expression twice, once by addition and once by subtraction. If b squared subtract 4ac equals 0, then you will get the same results both times. Means that there is only one x value then. An example of how to solve x squared plus 13x plus 22 by using the quadratic formula is, first you write the formula, then you substitute a equals 1, b equals 13, and c equals 22 into the formula, which I got x equals negative 13 plus minus square root of 13 squared subtract 4 times 1 times 22 divided by 2 times 1. Then you use the order of operations in the square root to get 169 subtract 88. Then from 169 subtract 88 you get 81, or the square root of 81, which I got the total now is x equals negative 13 plus minus square root of 81 divided by 2. The square root of 81 is a perfect square, so it is 9, which is 9 times 9 equals 81, and I got x equals negative 13 plus minus 9 divided by 2. According to the plus minus, you gotta evaluate the expression twice, one by addition and the other by subtraction. So I got x equals negative 13 plus 9 divided by 2, and x equals negative 13 subtract 9 divided by 2. So x equals negative 4 divided by 2 and x equals negative 22 divided by 2. Once you divide them, and once you divide those, you get x equals negative 2 and x equals negative 11. So those are the two answers of the quadratic equation for x by using the quadratic formula. One real-life example is when you shoot a basketball, you get a parabola, which is the graphing of a quadratic equation. From the parabola, you can look into it and get the quadratic equation to get the same parabola every time. Thank you for listening to my tutorial. In the next tutorial, and I will explain to you about general equations for families.